G'day and welcome to another episode of Kiwi Car Life, and today is going to be an interesting video for me mainly because I live in New Zealand where most of the time we drive Japanese and some European cars, specifically German ones, but today I'm going to be reviewing my first French car, a 1999 Peugeot 306, which is going to get all the British people going because, as I'm told, these cars are very well known in the land of tea and crumpets. In terms of exterior styling, especially for a car that came out in 1993, I think it's a really cool looking car. Around front it's got some nice angular looking lights and the yellow fogs, which are very period correct. And because this is the GTI model, or the performance one, it has some little GTI badging down the side, along with a cool looking little sports kit. This was from the era when a sporty car meant that it had, 1 inch bigger wheels and maybe a little badge here and there, rather than all the ridiculous stuff that the top performance models have today. So the styling is very understated, but when you see this, that this is no ordinary Peugeot 306. The engine is a 2-litre naturally aspirated 16 valve 4-cylinder engine. It makes about 168 horsepower, and in the case of this it's paired with a 6-speed manual transmission, which was pretty astounding to me, to be honest, because Honda only ever really brought out the 6-speed gearbox in the S2000 and then later in my Accord. Before that everything was 5-speed, and yet this came out in 1993 with a 6-speed gearbox. It would have been pretty remarkable back in the day. The interior is far from the nicest place I've ever sat in. Obviously at the time this was not a terribly expensive car, and it kind of shows here on the inside. The steering wheel is completely featureless, and the rest of the dash is all very sort of bonky 90s plastic. I don't really know how to describe it. The other thing that's a bit weird about this is the clutch is really heavy for a little tiny 2-litre hatchback like this, but the transmission feels quite nice. It feels very similar to like the Mark IV GTI, slightly more rubbery but quite nice direct shifts, but with very long throws. Everything falls very easily to hand. All of the indicator switches and all of the climate control stuff down here actually feels reasonably well put together, I've got to say, and the gauges look fantastic. I love the way the gauges look on this. The car in general is just very quirky. There's a decent amount of room in the back. The boot is pretty small, but most of the time you're probably going to have 1, maybe 2 people in this car going for a good little boost down a back road, which is what we're going to do right now. Well, here we are on a lovely British country lane in very British country weather. Let's see how the Peugeot goes. Man, it's a really cool sounding engine, eh? It has that nice sound at the top end, which I really like. And it feels like such a playful car. Man, I can see why people like these things, man. Flippin', as a young person, I just feel like I'm at home. Manual gearbox, fun little 2-litre engine that makes a really good little sound. Tight corners, heel toes perfect. And it's got pretty good torque, eh? Look, 4,000 RPM, it just hauls out of the corner really nicely. Oh, this is a lot of fun. I'm deeply impressed by this, eh? The owner of this used to have the white Audi RS3 that I did a review on about 4 months ago, last time I was up in Auckland. And he sold it for this. Now obviously he's British, so he wanted something that was kind of like authentic to his culture, which I understand. But the fact that he sold a stage 2 Audi RS3 for this just shows how fun this car is. It's absolutely brilliant. Oh, I love the gear change on it. It's so direct and easygoing. The ratios are perfect. Steering feel is excellent. I've actually been really impressed by that, where I feel like I can get in, I know exactly what the front end's doing. Like, look at it wobbling around in my hand as you go around these corners. You can just feel the road underneath you, which is so nice. Obviously it is an old Peugeot, so it's a bit rattly in here. Everything kind of goes over bumps, which to me is kind of a sign that I probably wouldn't really want to own this myself. But to drive, it's great. This is just where this car belongs. Greasy conditions, so it's a little bit more slippery and playful. Nice tight twisting road where you're just going between 2nd, 3rd and 4th all the time. Oh yeah, this is a really fun car. I like this a lot. It reminds me of my old Integra that I used to have, my little Type S. Not the Type R. The Type R was kind of on another level, but this is very sort of similar. It's got a great engine, good amount of power, really nice gritty induction sound to it, excellent handling, excellent steering feel. It puts a massive smile on your face, and it looks cool, and it's something different, you know. In New Zealand, you'd probably have a pretty hard time getting your hands on one of these, but in the UK, if you can get one of these for cheap and good shape, you're going to have a hang of a lot of fun driving this. So there we go. Thanks very much for watching this episode of Kiwi Car Life, and if you want to see me reviewing my little orange Integra that I've talked about a bit in this video that I used to have 3 years ago, then click over here. And if you want to see me reviewing the car that the owner of this used to have, an Audi RS3, then click over here, and I'll look forward to seeing you again next time.